Okay, Benni Eimers joins us all the way in Germany. Hi, Benni. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Thanks, Regan.
It's good to see you. It's been a while, of course. No Gordon Bennett last year. Fingers crossed for this year. But let's talk about last Sunday. What an event you had. Tell me a little bit about where you were and what was happening.
Okay, so we have because of Corona, we tried to make a new competition for ballooning here in Germany. So we rented a new competition that you make a distance flight and a duration flight, and that contest will end of this month. So now from now on, it's 9 days still on, and so we have 20 competitors, and you need to make a duration flight and a distance flight. So and the best flights will be counted and to get the trophy. So last Sunday I did my distance flight, and I took off in the northern part of Germany, close to Hanover in Salzgitter, and the wind was so good in the upper high, close to flight level 190, get me to Italy. So in a balloon, yeah, it was a very good flight.
And this record, I've just got some notes here, this distance record, 36 years old, 1984, it was 674 kilometers. That's what you've just took from a 36-year record.
Yeah. That's so we have different sizes of balloons and different records. But this record, that's 36, that was 36 years old. And it was quite difficult to beat it because the balloon is so small to get so much lift, and last Sunday we had very cold temperatures. So I think there was the coldest day since 10 or 15 years. It was minus 17 degrees. So here in Germany at ground, and
Wow.
So that was perfect to get a lot of lift in the hot air balloon.
Yeah.
So I took off with much more gas than you can get with you when it's too hot and warmer in the summertime.
Yeah.
So you always fly records in the winter time, and it's very cold, very important.
And you had full sun conditions and high pressure as well. This also helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure. This balloon is made for record flights. This balloon is almost black to get the solar heating of the sun.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when later on, when you use some gas, your system will be getting less heavier. So and when you don't have so much weight on it, you can use the solar heating, and that saves you a lot of gas. That's very good to make a long flight. So I carried about 420 liter of propane with me.
Yes. How much did you use?
340. So I was surprising it. I was still good for another 1 or 2 hours, but it's difficult to get some experience to do such big flights because it was so cold. As I said, last day it was so cold, was 15 years ago. So to get experience to see how much gas you need, it's quite difficult. So you can make some calculations on it, but this is not very accurate. It depends on solar heating. If you have some clouds, it will makes the whole system heavier to fly, and you need more temperature in the envelope. It used more gas, so that was perfect conditions.
Was it just over 13 hours, the flight?
No, that was my duration flight. 2 days before I did the distance flight, I flew 13 hours also for the Duty Cup. So the Duty
Right.
Cup is the name of the competition, stands for Duration and Distance Cup.
Yes.
So it's Thursday I did the duration, and it's always good to do the flight at the end. Then everybody was in the air, and you know what you need to get, how far you need to go and how long you need to stay in the air to beat the other pilots. So that was but it's always a little bit risky because when you don't have weather anymore to do such big flights, you will be out of competition. But I took the risk and took off very late for the competition. So now it's nine days until it will. Now I'm the first at the moment, but the competition is not over. So we need to wait what happened next week or this weekend. Maybe some pilots will do another big flights. And this flight was 9 hours and 5 minutes from Salzgitter, 803 kilometers to Parma in Italy.
Wow. What about your arm? You must get a sore arm.
Oh yeah. In the duration flight, the Thursday, that is no problem because you will have a tie you will fix on the burner valve.
Yeah.
So you can it's like an auto handle, or it's a handle that you can open the burner valve. But when you fly very high, so flight level 190, 5,700 meter, because you have so much oxygen there. To get the flame burning, you need to open the valve very carefully. So you need to open it very slowly, and you need to close it very slowly, that you still have your burner burning. And so you need to have your hand always up, and about 9 hours. And I was alone, so no second pilot, because I need the weight of the second pilot, and I put gas in my basket. So normally you have 2 pilots, but this was not possible with this small balloon.
So on the Sunday, when you were going for this distance, how was it to begin with? Did you have any issues before the start? Anything?
Oh yeah. You know, so minus 17 degrees. We know. First I checked the Corona rules in Switzerland and in Italy, and I found out that I need to be out of the country latest after 36 hours to be not in quarantine here in Germany. So I make the plan and said, okay, normally we have the chase crew at the takeoff field, and the chase crew will inflate our balloon, and then they will go to chase me. But it's impossible to go this way in a car to Italy in 9 hours. So we made the plane that the chase crew will get me to the launch field 4 hours, 5 hours before before I took off, and then they started driving to Italy so that they be there when I going to land there. And I have some very, very good friends living there, hot air pilots. So thanks to Robert, and Robert helped me. So he gets our stuff in his trailer, and in the morning we drove to the launch field, and on the way to there the car broke down because it was too cold. So the diesel filter, something like that, broke down, and so 10 kilometers before we reached the field to take off, the car broke down, and we stand there, and the timetable was very, very short so we need to go to the launch field. First I got out of the car and looked if is here a field where I can take off from to inflate the balloon, but it was close to a highway, and there was a big wind machine just next to the car and 100 meters high, so it was impossible to take off there. That was the first thing that was a big problem. And finally, we need a fan to inflate the balloon. Yeah, that's a small engine on it. But to get this fan running at minus 17 degrees was another issue. So we tried to, we were prepared with everything. The balloon was down. We fit everything in the basket. So, and we worked on the Honda engine and tried to get it running, but we had, I don't know, another 10 minutes, and then finally, it started. It's a Honda engine, so normally it will be good at minus temperatures, but then I took off with 28 minutes late. That's not good for a record flight normally, that you need to be on time.
Yeah, wow, that's absolutely...
Yeah, that's the thing, what happened when you do such a big flight. Yeah, that can happen. So.
And who was on the chase? Was it Matthias and your father, Willie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So the two world champions in gas ballooning. So they chased me. So you know, normally they know this from the air, but not from the ground and from the car. But they did a great job. So they filmed the landing, and so they were just on time on the field where I landed. So they drove all the way to Italy, and because of the rules, the Corona rules, we put all the stuff away in the car and drove back directly. First, we need a tractor and a farmer because it was also wet there.
Right.
I didn't know that there was snow days before, and so the snow was gone and it was so muddy. But the guys were friendly, and we found a farmer that helped us out of the field. So I have some nice pictures from the trip.
What about the ATC? Any issues there?
So normally you have big issues, but I talked to the ATC one day before over telephone, and they said, so the German ATC said, no problem, I will check if we are busy, but it's Corona. So we don't have any airplanes up there. The whole flight, I saw about 5 airplanes, and that was all. So they were very happy. And normally you will be on the frequency of German ATC, and then you need to go to the Swiss ATC and to the Austrian ATC, and then finally you will be in Padua, to the ATC Padua in Italy. But because there was so less traffic, the German ATC gave me the clearance for the Swiss airspace and for the Austrian airspace.
Wow.
So I don't need to switch the frequency. I just get from the German ATC direct to Padua, and that was for me good. That it was not so difficult to go through, and yeah, that was a special. Now it's a special time. You know, you have problems on the ground to get over the border, but in the air there's no traffic. So good.
Tell us a little bit about this balloon, Benny. Tell me about this. How new is it?
So if you want to do some record flights, you know, the fabric of the balloon is not good anymore after 200 or 300 hours to do some record flights, because it gets porous. Yes. And the air goes through the fabric, and so you need normally a new balloon. That balloon has about 100 hours, so it's 3 years old, black fabric, and this fabric has a special coating on it. So normally the balloon fabric is coated once to get it gas tight, so that you have air, that the air will stay inside. But this fabric is coated 2 times, so it makes it a bit heavier. But there are some small silver particle in the coating, right, and that reflected the heat and keeps it inside the balloon. So it's a very special fabric that costs some much more money, sure, but good for regular flights. So don't try this in a normal white balloon with white fabric and without solar heating. You will use so much gas and you burn so much to get the balloon up there that it's not possible. So that is a lightweight balloon with titanium cylinders. So the gas cylinders, normally they are stainless steel.
Yes.
And I carried titanium cylinders. So it's half the weight of normal cylinders. Yeah, that makes a big difference in the end.
Absolutely it does, yeah. Wow. Is there anybody else who could get anywhere near you with that record? Is there any other equipment in Germany to that
so with this size, it's difficult. Normally, all the pilots, they're flying some record balloons. They are bigger to keep it longer in the air and to fly through the night, maybe things like that. And normally the bigger balloons are good for 2 pilots. So you need to know that 13 hours or 9 hours to stay alone there. It's also mentally, it's a big deal, you know. Just you need to work on the ATC. You need to burn. You need to switch cylinders and get some food and drinks, and all that stuff together makes you mentally. It's a big deal to do that, all the things, and so. The normal balloons, the normal records balloon are a bit bigger, so 1,000 cubic meter more, good for another person, and 2 or 3 gas cylinders.
How did you cope with the temperature and the exhaustion? Just got to push.
Yeah. It was minus 40, minus 45 degrees up there, but I used. I know that from the gas balloon races and from the. Staying very long in the basket and flying through very cold nights. We used expedition clothes for like they used to go to the North Pole or to the Mount Everest. So they are very, very good clothes, and with the solar heating, it's quite warm up there, because you don't feel any wind because you're so fast. And I was flying with 140 kilometers per hour over the Alps. So, but it's like 140 kilometers per hour with the open view, a 360 without any window. So you're flying 140 kilometer, but because the wind is carrying you, it's you have no wind there. So when you have no wind and fully sun on your clothes, you don't feel it. It's so cold. But if you open some drink, you can take it, but you need to hurry a bit because it gets frozen in 1 minute or something like that. So I always put it in my expedition jacket and to keep it warm and to use it for the next hour. So that's fine.
So what's going to be next for you then, Benny, coming up in the next few weeks?
Okay, next I need to check the competition for the next 8 days, because maybe there's this right now the guy who's on the 2nd place. I flew with him the all over German record 6 years ago. That was 1,025 kilometers. So that he was a pilot with me, and he's now 2nd, and he's still fighting for the next 8 days. So in southern Germany, the weather will be good in the next days. And if he wants to make a flight, he needs to be in the air for 14 hours and 30 minutes to get my 1st place. And I will watch out. If he's flying tomorrow or Monday, I will prepare my balloon again and go to southern Germany next week and need to make a long flight from 14 or 15 hours. I don't know if it will work because it's getting hotter now and warmer. The temperature's rising, so I don't know if it will work. So, and after that, I still have the altitude record in my head.
Yes.
That is about 9,000 meters. But I'm sure I did some test flights up to 7,000, 8,000. But as you know, altitudes are always very dangerous. With oxygen alone, I need to check if maybe in the next winter time. My family is not so happy with that to do the altitude flights, but it's still in my mind to do it. So that will be next will be altitude.
Wow, we'll keep an eye on that. And then of course the Gordon Bennett later on in the year.
Yeah, sure. With Willie, with my father, first flight together. It was always a dream to fly with Willie. Gordon Bennett again. Gordon Bennett first. My brother flew with him 2 years ago. So yeah, we will be there when it takes off from Poland. We hope so that we get the clearance for all the countries because of the Corona situation, and yeah, then keep on running and fly far. So. Yeah.
Good. Benni, I know you're going to get back to your family. Thanks for the catch up. It's been brilliant to get the inside story from you here today. But until I see you, probably, I don't know where it's going to be. Might be in Poland, might be before. But Benni, thanks very much, man. Thank you.
Regan, bye-bye. See you.